Oh, hello everybody, good evening. I am Straight Jacket Jim and I'm so super excited here to present to you tonight the very first episode of Nuts and Bolts, our World of Tanks Premier League recap. Yes, I figured I'd get fancy, put on a nice sports jacket, do the whole show type thing, get dressed up for the occasion. It's a very special occasion. But yes, tonight we are here. This is going to be a weekly show that's going to happen after the podcast every week until the end of the Season 2 of the ANZ Premier League for World of Tanks. So normally it's going to be a bit of a recap about what happened on the games week before, but tonight we are doing a special preview show because on Friday World of Tanks Season 2 kicks off again with a prize pool of $20,000 that's going towards the winner, which is an amazing amount. Season 1 was mwah. And it's very easy to watch too. If you haven't watched it before, it's quite easy to see what's going on, and it's very, very interesting, I found. It's got a lot of similarities to other esports like League of Legends, and there's lots of flanking maneuvers, and it's very good. You should watch it. All at twitch.tv/World of Tanks ANZ. So go and follow them and make sure that you're watching on Friday. So Friday at 6 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time. So that's 4 o'clock for us here in Western Australia and 7 o'clock for those in Daylight Savings Time in Australia. And what's it make it in New Zealand? I think that makes it 7 o'clock start in New Zealand. So hope I got all those conversions right. But yes, so starting on Friday, it's going to be amazing. So what we're going to do first, we're going to take you through a little bit of what happened in Season 1. So Season 1, one of the great things I think that they did was they did, the way they set up the teams was that they named them after cities. So even if you don't know the teams, you can go, that one's my team, that one's my city, they're going to be my team. And that's exactly what I did with the Perth Panthers. So they're my team. Definitely, you might see in the background here, I've got a couple of Perth Panthers posters up because that's how much I want them. They're my team, damn it, they're going to win. But going back to Season 1, started in September last year and finished in November. 8 action-packed rounds of tank-on-tank action, followed by 2 weeks of finals. So it was really cool to watch. So we're going to have a quick look. This is how it finished up. You can see the ladder there. Brisbane Bulldogs finished on top of the ladder at the end of the home and away season with only 1 loss. Curiously, North Sydney Sentinels, who finished second, didn't have any losses, but because the way the points work, they had a few more draws. Then they finished second with being undefeated for the season. Then we've got South Sydney Scorpions, so we got the Sydney pair finishing second and third, followed by a New Zealand team, Auckland Archers in fourth. I'm glad that New Zealand got some representation in those finals there because it was the top 4 that played off in the finals. Followed by Perth Panthers, my very own Perth Panthers, who got pipped at the post there. There was the last round, they had a game against the Melbourne Matildas, and unfortunately they lost. So they got knocked out of the finals just from that one game. If they'd won, they would have been in instead of the Auckland Archers, but they lost. So unfortunately, was not meant to be for them. Maybe this year. Of course, then we've also got the Adelaide Action X, the Christchurch, my tongue starts working again. Christchurch Conquerors, the Cairns Comets, and the Melbourne Matildas coming in their strongest team in the league. They're holding up the ladder. So each round was played as a best of 4 games. So you could have a win, a loss, or a draw, which is why you see there's points for draws, because not quite often you see in the esports that doesn't happen. But it adds that extra layer onto it where you might not win. Just look at North Sydney Sentinels. They didn't win all their games, but they got enough points to finish in second. Mm-hmm. But then we move on to the finals. So, as I said, it was a top 4 playoff, and the finals moved to more of a best of 7 game. So instead of 4, they played 7 games. So that means there's definitely going to be an outcome in this. So no draws, no penalty shoot-offs or anything like that. So that was good. So the first semi-final game, semi-final 1, was between the top place Bulldogs and the 4th place Archers. The Bulldogs were fairly expected to romp this one home, They'd only lost one game all season, but you know what they say, finals does strange things to people. Archers came to fight, and that was very evident from the beginning. It did end up being very close in the end. Archers winning 4 games to 3, but with Bulldogs expected to win, it was quite a big turnaround. So the game we're seeing on screen at the moment, we've got the Sydney Derby, the North Sydney Sentinels, and the South Sydney Scorpions. So this one was really showing the class of the Sentinels and why they were undefeated in that season. They just ended up winning 4-1, and they just looked a better team all day. So then the week later that we had the grand final, but there was something that happened just a little bit before that. So the warm-up game was supposed to be between the Wargaming staff and also the community contributors for Wargaming. Now, unfortunately, we missed that game for technical reasons, didn't go ahead, which is a shame because I would have liked to have seen the teams affectionately known as WeGs and CGs go head to head and see what they did to each other. It did get played later, and I do have a clip. It's actually a pretty fancy clip, so if you give me a second, just set it up. I've got too many buttons on my Stream Deck. I'm learning how to use them all. There we go. So, back over this way. Oh. Hold up. Of course this was going to happen. There's no sound. Why is there no sound? Sorry, always something that goes wrong. There we go. Alright. So this was the WeGs versus CGs. WeGs in the red. Oh, look at that. Look at that roll. Gets a kill, rolls. Someone from behind comes up and gets the other guy. Finishes up on his treads. And look at this. He's still going. He's still making it. Look at that. He's still got most of his health there too. He's waiting for his tank to reload. And then bringing his gun to bear. Come on, Ziggy, you can do it.
His moment in the spotlight.
Bang! Oh, look at that! Oh,
one, but 2 barrel rolls before he gets a kill.
Look at that! 2 kills. Well, almost 2 kills with a barrel roll down the edge. How cool! That was pretty damn cool for an exhibition game.
The only Ouija left.
Also, go away. So yes, that was quite the entertaining session there. So onto the wrong camera. We need to go this way. Too many cameras in this joint. After that, we of course had the grand final. Very exciting. North Sydney Sentinels versus Auckland Archers. So after what the Archers did in their semi-final game, they came to play. They did some unconventional things and it worked out for them. So they tried the same thing again. Unfortunately, it didn't come off for them. And once again, North Sydney just showing their class. They just were on top of everything. They were hunting in packs. They would just had that focused fire. They'd pick one target and it'd be done. But this guy, I don't know what he was doing, but he just came out. He should never have been in that position to begin with, but he decided that was the way he was going to do it. And then even plays like the one you're seeing here at the moment. So Rainbow's up the back. He's just hiding in this capture zone. By the time he's spotted, it's too late. But the guy that came in, the Archers guy that came in, he had a bit of a chance to try and sort it out, and he does get the kill. But they're in the capture zone here anyway, and the Sentinels just occupying that too well. And the Archers guy comes out of the middle there and he's already caught in the crossfire, so it was over before it began really there. And there was a bit of drama though. In the third match of the evening, a player called The Return who disappeared for a bit during the regular season. All of a sudden he was back in with the season on the line. He's come back in hoping for a bit of a fairy tale ending that unfortunately was not meant to be. He was not able to lift the Archers up So, and they finished with a 4-0 win to Sentinels and becoming the reigning champions of Season 1 of the ANZ Premier League. So now we get to the good stuff. We get to Season 2, starting Friday, as we said earlier. Tune in, watch it, twitch.tv/worldoftanks.anz. You get to see some wonderful players starting in, playing for a prize pool of $20,000, which is an incredible amount to be putting up as a prize just for the finalists in this game. It's pretty cool. So they're back with the 5v5 one. So anybody that's played World of Tanks would have noticed, like when you jump into a game, it's usually, I think, about 12 or 13 players on a team. So it's decidedly bigger, but the matches are going to be 5v5. So the teams themselves will also get 2 reserves, which is up 1 from Season 1. So that means that between games, you can swap out players and like a bench, really. If you want to get the sporting analogies there. So you swap players in and out. That's how the Returned was able to come back in on Game 3 of the Grand Final last year. Still doing the best of 4 series for home and away. And one thing I'm very excited about, and I really hope we're able to do this, if we stay COVID-free, COVID pending, the grand final will be held at Fortress Melbourne. That's right, an in-person event, which would be absolutely amazing. And I really hope that that can go ahead, and it will be just superb. But of course, very importantly for this year, we've got the returning teams. So we have coming back the Adelaide Action X, the Auckland Archers, the runners-up from last year, the Brisbane Bulldogs, the Christchurch Conquerors, Melbourne Matildas, my very own Perth Panthers, who are going to get into the finals this year, I just know it, the South Sydney Scorpions, and the North Sydney Sentinels, when my tongue starts working again. The reigning champions, North Sydney Sentinels. So, unfortunately, the Cairns Comets are the team that isn't coming back this season, but it's still an amazing lineup, and also it means that this time we get no buys. And I like that. I'm not a fan of buys. I understand that if you've got an odd number of teams, it happens, but I would much prefer to see all the teams play every week. So that is very cool. Those are our teams that are coming in this season, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. So they did the draft earlier in February. So on the 18th of February, and one thing that they have stipulated is that 3 of the team's players must come from the location that the team's based in. So, and all players must come from the ANZ region. So you can't bring somebody in from overseas as a pinch hitter to get you over the line, and the team still have to accurately reflect the area that they're named after, which I quite like. It means that the teams still have that local flair, which is I think is important. If you're going to name a team after a city, it needs to have that local flair with it as well. So we're very happy to see that. And also, importantly, the fun doesn't stop there. So with the draft for Season 2, like, there were a lot of players that wanted to get in but couldn't quite get in. So the folks over at Wargaming have decided that they're going to hold a Division 2. So they're currently still taking applications or letting people register for that. So if you're interested, jump over onto the World of Tanks website and do that there. And the registrations for that close on Friday. So you've got until pretty much when the Premier League starts to get that in. And also, if there's those of you like me who like to dabble in the game but aren't quite good enough to do that, there is also a fantasy league for the World of Tanks people. Now, so that is part of the World of Tanks website. You go there, you log in, and then you can pick the players that you'd like to be in your team. And how well they do and how much they cost is based on how much damage they do, kills, etc, etc. So that will make it really, really cool to see what's going on and see the different players, learn the different players and see how well they do over this coming season, which I think will be amazing. I'm so looking forward to it. You guys should too. Make sure that you tune in Friday nights, starting from this Friday, the 12th of March, twitch.tv, World of Tanks, ANZ. Tune in, watch the fun. It's going to be amazing. And if you want to have a go at it, World of Tanks is a free game. So download it, give it a go. See how you like it. It's quite easy to get into, I found. There's some intricacies to it, but it's not a steep learning curve. So jump in, have a go. So now we're going to enter a segment that I like to call Tank Facts. I'm going to try and end every show with a bit of a tank fact. So, tanks first appeared around World War One. So until that time, there's a lot of trench warfare on the in World War One. There, like most Australians would be familiar with Gallipoli, but also on the Western Front, I think they called it. There was the Battle of the Somme, and that was trench warfare as well. It was quite hard, and you fought very hard, lost a lot of people to try and make even a little bit of ground. So the idea of an armed transport was very high on both sides' minds, and the boffins that were trying to work out how they could do it. The first tank, the British Mark I, rolled onto the battlefield on the 15th of September 1916. So over 100 years ago, Jesus, 100 years ago, that's a long time. But that was at the Battle of the Somme. And it was quite intimidating seeing this thing coming towards you, but the first tank, the first Mark I, was not the best, as you can probably imagine. Most things that come out first aren't the best. Unless we're talking about smartwatches, and then my Pebble smartwatch is still the best. But anyway, enough of that sidetrack. So the Mark I, it was pretty slow, made it easy for artillery to hit them. And then it was also very hard to aim at things. The guns were on the side, so you had to turn the tank and reposition constantly to try and fire at things. And it was also very, very lacking in comfort. It was hot, it was dark, it was noisy, and full of fumes. So it wasn't the best for the crew. But that was the genesis of the modern day tank that we still see today. We're still going through and seeing tanks that are around, but that was the first time that a tank was used in battle. A modern tank was used in battle. I'm sure that some Roman probably thought of the idea to mount his centurions with their shields on something and send them into battle. But this was the first modern tank. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a tank fact. So thank you everybody for watching tonight for the first episode. It's only a really quick episode, but we're going to be doing this every week. So please tune in next week for a recap of round one of the ANZ Premier League in World of Tanks. Don't forget, Friday evenings, afternoons, watch it. Twitch.tv/World of Tanks ANZ. Give them a follow, give them a watch. And yeah, thank you so much for dropping by and watching. And I'm going to stick around. I'll be playing something afterwards. Haven't quite decided yet. Will probably be World of Tanks though. But